Hey, Camelback family, this is Cole. Welcome to Camelback Conversations. This is a podcast for Camelback Bible Church to equip, to inform, and to just generally encourage the congregation to know what's going on. And today I've got Kris Greene with us. Kris wears a lot of hats and has worn a lot of hats around the church. So I'm excited. We're going to talk missions. We're going to talk heart for missions and all sorts of stuff today. And so if you don't mind, could you give us just an overview of, I don't know how to give an overview. Where do you serve? What ways do you serve?
I am a missions deacon. I am on the missions committee. I am in charge of the STAMP program, which is our short-term missions program. I'm also in the choir, and I work in the choir library. And I teach Sunday morning children's discipleship with my friend Paulette once a quarter.
You have found yourself in the all other ministries as asked.
Yes.
And there you are. Yeah. So I've been at Camelback now about a year and a half, and there's a couple names that I've learned. You know this name, it's going to pop up everywhere. Yours was an early name of Have You Talked to Kris? I don't know how many times I heard, Have you talked to Kris? Have you heard from Kris? You kept popping up in good places, and so we are long overdue having you on here, and I'm excited for it. So if you don't mind, let's do the technical bit first, and then we'll do the what I think is the very interesting bit after that. So can you give me an overview of, at Camelback Bible Church, what is mission? Like what is missions? Like when we're talking, not the overall mission of the church, but when we talk about engaging in missions, what does that mean here?
Well, it is involved in the overall mission of the church as well, in that we are all about Jesus, community, and mission, and we share the love of Jesus with the world. And the global missions committee, which I am part of, they are over our global mission outreach. We have 14 missionaries that we support full-time, and we have all sorts of activities that are involved in being good stewards of the resources that we have been given to meet their specific needs. And we also have the STAMP program, which is short-term adult missions program. And I've had the privilege of being involved in that for the last 3 years. We also have community mission, which is under the deacon mission, which is local missions, Hope Women's Center, Creighton Community Foundation, other mission projects that we have that are more local as opposed to global in their outreach.
Awesome. So that's a lot of pieces. And our plan before filming this, we talked about our plan is to have, especially some of our summer mission trips, and those folks who just got back, to have them on to tell their stories. But I want to start with your story and what got you, because the world is your oyster. You could be doing anything, right? You're already doing everything, but you could be doing anything. What got you interested in missions? What was your journey with that? What perked your ear towards missions? What has kind of sustained you in your interest in missions?
I grew up in the church. My parents were involved in the church, and we always had missionaries in our home. When they came over for dinner. They would be at, Vacation Bible School. My family supported missionaries. I've always been on the sending side of missions. I've never gone on a missions trip. I always know that it's really important, but there are a lot of ways to be involved in missions. Mm-hmm. How I got involved in missions at Camelback is in 2018, my husband passed away. It was unexpected. He was, fairly young. And then my life really took a real change, a real turn. And I started asking God, okay, what is my life going to look like now? What am I going to be involved in? And one of the things that was in my mind was, I would like to be involved in some way with people who are not exactly like me. A lot of our work in the church is involved with church people
Yep.
who look exactly like us because we're all in the same church together. And I love that. But I didn't know what that was going to look like. As I was praying about that one day, I got a email from my niece who works at Indian Bible College. And she said, I wish you could come and teach at Indian Bible College. And I said, well, I can't teach at Indian Bible College, but I think I would like to be involved in some way. So I started going up there once a month to be involved there. Probably a week later, I was asked by a member of the missions committee, would you think about being involved in the missions committee? Thought, well, I asked God what he wanted me to be involved in. I guess this is it. And so I started as a member of the missions committee. How I got involved with the short-term mission is there was somebody else on the committee at that time who was in charge of short-term mission, and he was planning the trip. And I said, I would like to be involved in this. This is something that, in this stage of my life, I can do this. And then COVID hit.
Yep.
And so I didn't go on that trip. And then after COVID, it's like, we're going to plan a trip to Slovakia. And I said, I'd like to go to that one. And the person who was in charge of it had a lot of stuff going on in his life. And the committee said, well, can you lead this trip?
Why not just jump full in, right?
And then it ended up not being Slovakia. It ended up being Ukraine. And my first thought was, I've never done this before. I don't know how to do this. But then I thought, I'm speaking out of fear from there. What about this trip could I not do? I know how to travel overseas. I know how to lead a group. I know how to teach. I know how to do crafts. I can be involved with the group. So I said, okay, I'll go. And that's how I ended up being charged of staff because there was a need.
Yep.
And I said yes.
It's amazing to see how the Lord's timing works perfectly, right? Like so I grew up hostile to missions, right? And then in high school, it's like, okay, I want to go share the gospel. I got introduced to a group that was going to London. And so my plan was I was going to graduate high school and the next day leave for London and be gone all summer, come back, and then the next day go to college. And like a week and a half before I left for London, the group I was with changed me to Cardiff, Wales, which is still English speaking, but I went from knowing, I'd been preparing all year for this project and then got sent to this project, but it ended up being exactly where God needed me to be, right? He, knowing kind of what the other teams were doing, what I got to do, things like that, like in God's wisdom, he sent me to do something very unfamiliar, very unexpected, and it was exactly what I needed. Like it perked my heart in a way that I couldn't have. And that seems like that's what happened to you, is you went very quickly from like, oh yeah, I'll go, to God saying, no, this is going to be the business you're about. Like you're not just going to get to go. You're going to go and you're going to help other people go. And you're going to pave the way. What's been, so I want to ask this question in a couple ways. The big question would be, what's been your favorite part about going? But I want to ask it in a couple different ways. So what's been one of your favorite personal things that has happened to you, right? So just for you that, there's always, anytime you get involved in these missions projects, there's something personal that happens that you go, oh, wow, the onion got peeled back. And then I want to ask about people that you've interacted with, people you've gone with, and then people that are there that you've interacted with. But I want to start first with, for you, like, as God has taken you on these trips and God has put you into a setting that's completely different, what has he revealed to you about himself and about you in those trips?
The first year, there were 3 of us who went. And my biggest takeaway from that is seeing the global church. Mm-hmm. I went to Ukraine, and these were my people. These were people who loved the Lord, who were serving the Lord, who sang in praise to the Lord. The fact that we didn't speak the same language made
No difference.
no difference.
You feel
at
like you've
all.
known them your whole life by the end. Like,
I came there and they loved me because I loved Jesus. And that, I feel like, just really revolutionized my view of the world, that it's so much bigger than I thought it was. That I'm a small part of a big us,
yes.
which was really great. I think I've also learned the first trip that we went on. Another thing we learned was this was new.
Yes.
What we did, nobody had done this before, so we were prepared-ish because we had no idea what it was going to look like, and I learned to come into service with open hands.
Yep.
You come well prepared. We had crafts prepared. We had a theme for our speaking, for what we were going to do. We had done the work ahead of time. There's no excuse for sloppy preparation.
Right.
But you also go in going, oh, I guess we're doing this now.
We call it prepared spontaneity. Like,
Yes.
I'm ready for everything to go wrong.
Yes.
And we're going to do that instead.
Yes. I think one of the things that I have been able to maybe bring to the program is anything that I do is better if I bring more people. So it's come be with me on this. I'm doing this, come be with me. Second year, we had 6 of us who went. And it was a wonderful experience. It was similar in some ways to the one before, and it was very different.
Yep.
In that one, we learned to be independent because our missionaries weren't there at the time they were here.
Right.
So we were way more connected with their local church as as the people who cared for us as we cared for them. The next year, there were 14 of us who went to 3 different countries. When we went last year, Andrew, we had a couple extra days at the end, and Andrew said, Pavel and Yanusinko, where they are in Slovakia, is like maybe 2-3 hours away.
Yeah.
Why don't we rent a car and go over there? Which I would have never done by myself, but Andrew
Right.
can drive anywhere. He has no fear as far as that goes. And I was just so struck with the work that Pavel and Jana do in Slovakia. Pavel took us to a community of Roma people. They call themselves gypsies. Here we refer to them as Roma because
Oh, yeah.
in our context, gypsy is not a good term.
Right.
And I went there and was really floored with I can't fix this.
Yeah.
Their culture, what they face from their past, the discrimination that they experience. I didn't know what to do with that. It really unsettled me. I was in the kitchen in this Roma complex where the family were, and it was a grandmother and a mother and her daughter and a few kids, and I was holding a baby. I can hold a baby, and the lady, through Pavel translating, was asking us some questions, and she asked me if I was married, and I said no, I was a widow. And she reached over and touched my arm and said, "Oh, I'm a widow too." Pavel translated, and it was like, I don't need to fix this.
Right.
These are people that God loves, and we are all the same. This is community. This is not me fixing a problem. This is God's work.
Yep.
We're here to share his love and to do what he has put. And her sharing that compassion with me enabled me to open up, to go, my relationship with these people is not to come and fix them.
Yeah.
Mine is to just be with them and to love them because they are part of God's body. This is a woman who loved the Lord just like I did, whether she lives in an uncomfortable situation, in poverty, and I come from not that.
Right.
That doesn't make any difference. What makes a difference is Jesus.
Absolutely.
And that's what we have in common.
Yeah, it's amazing to see when God broadens our view to go, number one, I'm not right. Right? Like the way that I'm doing things, the way that I interact with God is not the way to interact with God.
It's not supposed to look like me.
Right. It's not the kingdom of me. It's the kingdom of God. And so I need to be an ambassador of that, and I need to bring the grace that he has. But then too, you realize I have all these things, whether you go to, Honduras and you're with, you've got peasant kids in Bangladesh, it doesn't matter where you go, or if you're in the heights of Europe, like it doesn't matter where you go, you realize I have nothing to bring except Christ. Like nothing I can bring in and of myself will do anything here that could possibly compare to the love of Christ and the gospel and God's ancient work. Mm-hmm. It's humbling, but there's a taste to it that once you've tasted that, you go, okay, I'm signing up next year, and I'll sign up next year, and
it's oh, you have to come with me. Let me tell you the story. Let me tell you how it's changed my life. This is unique. You have the opportunity to experience this. Let me help you experience this.
Come join what God's doing.
Absolutely. This year, something that came across to me was that this program is all about extending our reach. Mm-hmm. It is extending the reach of Camelback. It's extending my reach. It's extending the reach of our missions partners. We are going there to partner with them, to assist them, to say, what can we do?
Yeah. How can we come alongside you?
To help you do what God is having you do. How can we fit in with what you're doing? We're not going to come and impose our expectation on you. What are you doing? How can we help you extend your reach? And that reach is the reach of the gospel, the reach of what God is doing, the reach of Jesus' love to other people who need that.
So as we're going to kind of start rounding things out and wrapping things up, I would love for everybody to get an opportunity to work with or engage in our missions work in some way, right? It's like you said this at the top. There's a lot of ways we can get involved. For some people, it's boots on the ground. For others, it's prayer. What are the ways that people can actively be supporting our missions work? I'm specifically thinking of our international, right? So our international missions partners. What can they be doing now to support that? And then can you kind of give us a teaser, if you will, of our the Lord has his plans, we have ours, but right now it looks like we have some places that we're going to be able to go. So maybe give a little teaser of what we're expecting maybe for next summer of where we might be able to go. So how they can be involved and then where we'll go in the future.
We would love to have you come with us, come be with us, come do what we're doing. There are opportunities for people to go for college students, for families, for older people, for younger people. We can go back to Slovakia and be involved with their work with special needs kids. We have people who have expertise in that. We're looking for other people who have that skill and who can support others who have that skill. Yeah. We need opportunity to tell our stories to other people. We met chaplains on the front line in Ukraine. We met mothers who are dealing with autistic kids in a culture that has very little resource for them, who are looking for someone to understand. We have the opportunity for college students to go to Spain to serve, to enable high school kids who go to camp to be able to hear the gospel. And most of these kids do not know the Lord at all. So we have people who can go. We also would love to have people who have skills in publicity, in podcasting, in graphic design that would enable us to do better communication. In your small group, we need to have groups come in to tell your stories and invite your neighbor, invite the next person who needs to hear this. Our church did a fabulous job of giving this year. I thought it was extraordinary that there were 91 individuals or family groups who funded these trips. And they didn't just pay for us to get there. They paid for
supplies,
the camps themselves, things that would be beyond the reach. Camelback family was just so generous. So there are people who give. Those are the senders.
Yep.
There are people who prayed for us. There are people who support us to get there. People who buy us supplies, who maybe have skills in. I'm running out of craft ideas. People, we need people who are really good, who are really good at that. Who can say, "Here's something that would work really good in this circumstance." Yep. There are so many ways that people can be involved. As far as not STAMP, but broader global mission. Get to know your missionaries. We have these partners who are out there on the front line doing the work. Do you know them when they're here? Do you want to have them in your house? Do you want to spend time talking to them? Are you a good letter writer? Are you somebody who can build those relationships long term? I can talk to somebody all day long. I'm a terrible letter writer. But people have different gifts. So get involved in knowing our missions partners. Boy, I could keep going.
No, that's fabulous. Yeah. And hopefully for next summer, we went this year, it was for our actual trips, it was Spain, Slovakia, Ukraine. And we're hoping to go back to those. And so people need to be watching. We're gonna be putting kind of a slow trickle of news out of, hey, here's the prospective dates. Here's if you're interested. So I would encourage everybody to be praying. And the time to decide if you want to go, well, we won't give people a decision. The time to determine where you need to go and how you need to serve is right now. You
need to start thinking about this because those decisions need to be made probably in January.
Yep.
And I want to mention that there are other people who have gone on mission trips from Camelback. Elijah's gone. Nicole and Lilia, they went to Mexico. I know Nate Miller a few years ago went to Japan. There are other people who are doing things, and that is fabulous. We want to be able to support them as well. Our focus is supporting our missions partners, but that doesn't mean that that's the only work that needs to be done. If you also have a place or an idea, hey, we're looking,
let's
there might be Indonesia. We have missionaries in Indonesia and in Brazil and in the Philippines.
We got places.
We have places. We could do more than 14. We've been doubling it every year. I'd love to see it get bigger. But we also need people to help with the behind the scenes work that gets people there.
Yes. So this is marvelous. I'm excited. We're going to be recording and sharing the stories of each of our teams from this past summer, but getting to start with your love for missions and your love for this thing that God is doing that's bigger than us. So this is good. So thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And looking forward to sharing this with everybody.
Come be with us.
Yes.